Heyo, TJ here. The Pokemon Company showed a lot of footage of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These games look amazingly similar to their older versions, graphics aside, but there are still quite a number of differences we've noticed across the trailer, so let's dive right into them. The first thing to cover is a pretty grand one, with the Grand Underground getting some pretty big changes. The most notable one though being the Pokemon Hideaways. These weren't in the original games, and combined with the map changes, there'll be a whole lot to explore. But one important note is how your secret base affects these Pokemon Hideaways. You're able to place statues in your secret base, and depending on the ones you place, you can change the spawn rate for certain types of Pokemon. This is presumably indicated by the little orb on the bottom right corner of the screen. This system does bring up one important question though. In the trailer, we're able to see a Munchlax in one of these Pokemon Hideaways, an otherwise convoluted and rare Pokemon to get, that you would need to spend hours waiting for after applying honey to a tree just to get a 1% chance to try and get it. So it does raise the question on if they're going to change around the Pokemon spawn rates or not, or if these spawn differences are just in the Grand Underground. Thankfully, it does appear that the honey system is still there, as we can see several honey-colored trees in their usual locations. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is also really honing in on customization options with the return of ball capsules and the newly added Style Shop. It seems as though the Style Shop is replacing the Game Corner, being located right where it is in the older games, though it does lead to the question of if there are other Style Shops located in the Sinnoh region now. It doesn't seem as though there are many buildings you can replace for it. The ball capsules have also gotten some changes, upgrading to 3D customization and adding more seals to boot, though it does appear that the letter seals are gone. Next up, and one of the things I'm really excited for, is the contests. They seem to have gotten a lot of changes though. The Sinnoh contests were broken up into 3 phases. In the first phase, you would dress up and present your Pokemon. They would then keep these changes for the duration of the contest. From what we've seen, it looks like they removed the dress-up part of this, but still have the presentation. The second phase was a Simon Says-like dancing competition, and that phase is definitely present, but it looks more like a rhythm game rather than a do-what-I-do experience. And the third phase was a battle contest. They haven't really shown much of this phase, unless this is mixed with the dancing gimmick. And this could be a possibility, given that some Pokemon are using moves during the dancing section, and the contest move option on the left side by the music score. Keeping this in mind, it does feel kind of likely that they mixed these 2 phases together. And if they did, it could make contests a more active and engaging activity. Unfortunately, we don't see anything regarding Poffins or the process of making them, but we do know that the contest archetypes are still there, with the one in the trailer being presented as the cute contest. With the first phase of the contest being a lot like Ruby and Sapphire's presentation phase, this might allude to the use of Poffins as a means to score during this phase, kind of like with Pokeblocks. It's always nice to see your Pokemon follow you around in the overworld, and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is delivering just that. They are taking a few liberties, and understandably so, to scale the Pokemon to your player size, but it is funny seeing an Onix and a Scroopy at the same size. It does also appear that HMs might be back. We see several objects that allude to this, such as cut trees, rock smash rocks, and the rock climb wall. And though seeing water and waterfalls isn't much of an argument for Surf and Waterfall, Surf was required to get in the Lake Spirit's caves. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl uses the same battle system we all know and love, but it does have some subtle changes. From what we've seen, it lacks the more recent quality of life change, showing us if a move is super effective or not. But that could also be the case of having seen a Pokemon for the first time. This scene also shows that Turtwig has leafage, and though subtle, this is kinda big, as it'll show they'll have to change around Pokemon's move pools and the TMs respectively. This is more than likely a way to make the game more compatible with Sword and Shield and Pokemon Home, but Sword and Shield did lack some Pokemon from Sinnoh, all 3 starters to name a few. And like the move pools, they've also seemed to change up some of the trainers' Pokemon. In the double battle with the Team Galactic Grunts, there's no double battle where they have those 2 Pokemon together. And the last topic on this list is something I, and I'm sure many others have been wondering, is if they're going to include some nod or plot from Platinum. And from what we've seen, they're either avoiding that, or just have no intention of putting anything in. With the Your First Pokemon cutscene being the one from Diamond and Pearl, and even smaller details like Heart Home using normal roads, unlike Platinum, and the inside of the galactic headquarters being blue, even having some details as small as the Great Marsh layout being the one specifically from Diamond and Pearl. The Pokédex though does seem to be more expanded like Platinum's, though this is likely a result of them just wanting to add more Pokémon to the game's roster. That will finish up this list on changes we noticed in Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I wanted to give a special thanks to our friend Hawk on Twitter for helping us out with this, and thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Pokémon and other gaming related topics. Check out the videos on the right for more content you might be interested in. Until next time, take care!